Hello there, and welcome to the Mad Human Channel, your quiet corner of the cosmos where curiosity meets calm and science gently rocks you to sleep. Before we begin our celestial drift tonight, I'd love to know, where in the world are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop it in the comments below. It's always heartwarming to see how many of us are floating together across oceans, continents, and time zones. And if tonight's voyage stirs your wonder or soothes your breath, feel free to give this video a gentle like and perhaps subscribe. It helps other sleepy minds find their way to this calm little galaxy of thought. Now, tonight's story is a soft, glowing one about how galaxies, those vast, spiraling cities of stars, aren't flung into being with fireworks, but born from quiet, patient gathering, from dust, from dark, from time itself unfolding slowly. I do hope it's not so interesting that it keeps you awake, but if it does, well, you'll drift off knowing just a bit more about the universe that cradles you. So settle in, let your shoulders drop, let your eyes grow heavy. You're about to float across 13.8 billion years of cosmic becoming. No rush. The stars will wait. Let's begin. 13.8 billion years ago, there was no sky, no stars, no space to speak of. Just a singularity, unimaginably dense and hot. A seed of potential resting in stillness beyond comprehension. And then, in an instant that was less explosion and more unfurling, the universe began. Not with sound because there was no air to carry it. Not with light because photons had no room to move freely. It began with expansion, a blooming of space itself, stretching in all directions faster than the speed of light, a cosmic inhale that filled nothing with everything. Time itself was born in that moment. Particles burst into being, quarks, electrons, gluons, dancing in a radiant sea of energy. The early universe was a hot soup of chaos, but even chaos has a rhythm, and slowly, as the seconds stretched out, the universe began to cool, to calm, to compose. In those first minutes, hydrogen and helium, the lightest and most fundamental of elements, came together like building blocks waiting for a blueprint. And though the universe was still a boiling void, something extraordinary was already underway. For hundreds of thousands of years, it remained opaque. Light could not travel far, trapped by a fog of free electrons bouncing it like a pinball. But eventually, around 380,000 years later, things cooled just enough for those electrons to nestle into atomic orbits, forming the first neutral atoms. And when that happened, light was freed. The universe became transparent. That ancient light still echoes through the cosmos as the cosmic microwave background, a gentle afterglow of our earliest dawn. But even with this soft illumination, there were no stars yet. No galaxies. Just immense darkness, scattered with slight ripples. Regions where matter was just a bit denser, drawn subtly by the invisible tug of gravity. It was quiet. It was waiting. And gravity, the great sculptor of the cosmos, began its patient work. Over millions of years, those ripples deepened. Hydrogen and helium clouds gathered into filaments and knots, pulled together not by force but by time itself. In the densest pockets, matter began to fall inward, collapsing under its own weight until something brilliant happened. The first stars were born. Massive, luminous, and short-lived, they burned with a ferocity that shaped the future. Their nuclear hearts forged heavier elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, and when they died, they exploded, scattering their stardust across the young universe. And from that dust, more stars were born. And from stars, galaxies. Galaxies did not arrive fully formed. They drifted into being. Tiny proto-galaxies swirling and colliding, merging like drops of ink in water, growing larger and more structured with each embrace. Spiral arms began to unfurl like ancient sea creatures stretching toward the void. Elliptical forms ballooned outward, massive and old. Some galaxies became quiet, their star-making slowed. Others burned with furious birth rates, glowing in infrared, invisible to our eyes but brilliant in their making. Supermassive black holes anchored their cores, not devouring so much as organizing, holding the gravitational balance of billions of stars in their invisible grip. The galaxies drifted, yes, but not aimlessly. They formed vast structures, cosmic webs stretching across unimaginable distances, filamentary highways of matter and dark matter, stitched together by gravity, illuminated by stars. And here, amidst this architecture of infinity, tiny blue dots like our Milky Way found their place. Our galaxy, too, was once a child, colliding, absorbing, spinning into grace. It swallowed smaller galaxies, danced with neighbors, shaped its spiral arms over billions of years. Within one of those arms, a quiet star formed, and around it, a small blue planet cooled, collected water, and one day, dreamed of the stars that made it. And so, the universe continued its gentle construction. Each galaxy, each cloud of stars and gas, each drifting cluster, added to the quiet masterpiece of existence. Galaxies were not static islands. They orbited, collided, and merged in cosmic slow motion. When two galaxies met, they did not crash like cars, but danced. Stars passed through stars, vast distances separating them, but their gravities intertwined. Gas clouds collided and compressed, igniting fresh waves of star birth, like sparks flaring in a fire long thought faded. These galactic collisions reshaped spiral arms into rings, stretched tendrils of light across space, and often left behind more massive, elliptical forms. Older, quieter, slowly dimming as their fuel was used up. And through all of this, dark matter, the unseen scaffolding, held the structure of the universe in place, guiding the way matter clumped and formed, shaping everything we could see through the pull of everything we could not. In this vastness, superclusters formed, tapestries of galaxies bound together, moving in slow migration through space. The universe took on a lacy texture, a web of light suspended in darkness. And within this structure, galaxies continued to evolve. Some, like Andromeda, spiraled gracefully. Others, like M87, expanded into giant ellipses housing black holes billions of times more massive than the Sun. These black holes did not swallow the universe but gave it shape, centering the storm, orchestrating the orbit of stars and dust, anchoring the galaxies like calm eyes in a swirling storm. Around them, matter glowed. Accretion disks spinning hot and fast, jets shooting from their poles like cosmic lighthouses beaming into the dark. But amid this grandeur, there was also subtlety. Galaxies aged, their star formation slowed, their light grew redder, softer, tired after billions of years of burning bright. Some galaxies became graveyards, filled with old stars, quiet and still. Others burst to life again when gas fell in, like embers rekindled by a sudden wind. The universe did not stop creating, it only changed pace. It grew wiser, slower. It began to resemble what we see today, clusters drifting apart as the fabric of space itself stretched. Galaxies receded, their light redshifted by expansion, whispering goodbye across eons. And here we are, perched in one quiet spiral called the Milky Way, circling a middle-aged star, looking outward with minds that evolved from stardust. We map the sky with telescopes that see in every wavelength, radio, X-ray, infrared, gathering light from galaxies billions of years away. Each photon a time traveler, each image a memory of a moment long gone. We see galaxies as they were, not as they are, peering into the past every time we look up. And in those silent spirals, those glowing cores, we see ourselves. Our atoms came from these stars. Our lives are shaped by their gravity. Our stories are echoes of their collisions and calm. And so the cosmos builds itself not with noise but with time, not with force but with gravity, not with haste but with patience. Galaxies drift, and in their drifting they become beautiful, complex, alive in their own way, and all of it, every flicker of light, every spiral arm, every quiet expansion, whispers a truth older than words, that even in the vastest silence, something is always unfolding, becoming, shaping itself slowly into something worth seeing, something worth being. And so we drift closer now, not away from the vastness, but deeper into it. Into the way galaxies, for all their grandeur and scale, have become homes. Not just homes for light and stars and dust, but for stories, for seasons, for life. Galaxies are not just scattered collections of stars flung across space. They are ecosystems in motion, each a delicate balance between birth and decay, fire and silence. Within their arms, gas clouds stretch like ghosts of potential, slow-churning nurseries for new stars. These stars emerge from molecular clouds, vast, cold, dense, where gravity quietly gathers hydrogen until fusion begins. And when it does, a star is born, and with it light, and warmth, and the possibility of everything else. Some of these newborn stars burn fast and die young, blue giants that live only a few million years before exploding in brilliant supernovae, scattering their enriched guts across space. Others, like our own sun, shine more modestly for billions of years, surrounded by debris and dust that slowly coalesce into planets. These planets don't just appear, they condense. They gather grain by grain, collision by collision, becoming spheres of rock and gas and ice, some scorched, some frozen, some floating quietly in the habitable distance. Not too hot, not too cold. And on at least one of these worlds, something astonishing happens. Molecules arrange themselves in such a way that they begin to copy, to change, to feel, to wonder. That's us. That's Earth. A galaxy didn't just cradle us, it enabled us. It whispered the conditions for life into being, not through intent, but through balance, through scale, through billions of years of quiet unfolding. And while stars live and die, galaxies continue. They host entire generations, ancient stars in their centers, younger ones in their arms, each born from the remains of those that came before. It's a kind of galactic reincarnation, an eternal rhythm of giving and receiving, of light becoming dust and dust becoming light again. Even black holes, often painted as devourers of light, play their part, stabilizing orbits, releasing energy, regulating star formation through their vast gravitational sway. They are not destroyers, but sculptors. And as galaxies shape stars and stars shape systems, those systems become stages for life, for questions, for civilizations that one day look up and wonder, where did all of this begin? And the answer, impossibly distant yet gently near, is that it began not in a moment of clarity, but in a slow dance of dust and silence. The cosmos did not rush. It drifted. It gathered. It learned to shine. And through galaxies, those glowing, drifting, spiraling cities of time, it gave itself a way to know itself. Through light, through gravity, through us. And in that way, galaxies are not just structures of stars. They are vessels of memory, of motion, of meaning. And so, we turn our gaze forward, not to the beginning, but to the far edge of becoming. What happens next? What does the future hold for galaxies, for the stars within them, for the fragile moments we call now? The cosmos is not finished. It is still expanding, gently, steadily, almost imperceptibly. The galaxies we see tonight in the clear silence of a telescope lens are not where they appear. They've already moved on. Light, after all, is slow compared to space itself. With each passing moment, the fabric of the universe stretches farther, carrying galaxies away from one another like boats adrift on a vast, dark sea. Not because they choose to, but because the ocean of space beneath them grows, expands, flows outward with every breath of time. This expansion, once thought to slow, now appears to be accelerating. Dark energy, an invisible force we barely understand, is quietly driving galaxies apart. And not gently. Over the next trillions of years, galaxies that are not gravitationally bound to each other will drift beyond the reach of our instruments, their light redshifting until they are no longer visible. The night sky, once scattered with stars and distant spirals, will grow empty, quiet. The cosmic web will thin. Superclusters will grow more isolated. Eventually, only the closest galaxy neighbors, like Andromeda and the Milky Way, will remain in view. And yes, even our Milky Way is not still. It is on a collision course. In about 4 billion years, it will meet Andromeda. But this will not be a crash as we imagine it, no sparks, no exploding suns. Instead, it will be a slow, swirling embrace. a gravitational merging of two immense spirals. Their stars will pass by one another mostly undisturbed, but their structures will change. Arms will stretch, cores will spiral, and after billions more years, what remains will not resemble the elegant pinwheels we see now. It will be a new galaxy, larger, smoother, quieter, a giant elliptical, a place of aged stars and long memories. But stars do not burn forever. Even the brightest lights must one day fade. In the very distant future, far beyond the age of Earth, beyond the age of the sun, the universe will grow old. Star formation will slow, then cease, as gas runs out. The great engines of light will flicker and die. Red dwarfs will burn slowly, then dim. White dwarfs will cool into black husks. Neutron stars will drift alone. Black holes will remain, silently holding space where once there was fire. And galaxies, once so alive with energy and light, will fall into darkness. A cosmic quietude will settle in, a hush billions of years long. This era is sometimes called the heat death of the universe, not because it will be hot, but because it will be still, uniform, without contrast or motion. The stars will have burned out, the galaxies faded. The universe will be vast, dark, and cold. And yet, even then, the story will not be over. Particles may still decay. Black holes may evaporate through Hawking radiation, releasing their mass into the void over unthinkable spans of time. And finally, eons upon eons later, there may be nothing left but scattered photons, drifting through space too vast to touch anything again. But that's not a tragedy. It's a whisper. It's a reminder that the universe was not promised to be eternal in its present form, but it was, and is, beautiful in its unfolding. Every galaxy, every star, every moment of light was a miracle of timing, of balance, of motion and stillness. And in the middle of all that, for a tiny blink in the life of the cosmos, there was us. A species that could look back, that could wonder, that could trace the arms of galaxies and dream about stars colliding billions of years from now. We are made of their dust. We are born in their light. And one day, the last human will see the last star and remember that once, long ago, galaxies drifted like lanterns in the sky, and we followed. And so, in this widening silence of the universe, something tender persists. Memory, not in the way we define it with neurons and stories, but in the way light lingers, in the way gravity curves, in the way a galaxy still drifts on long after its stars have faded. Everything the universe ever made remains, if not in form, then in influence. A star's light may burn for only a few billion years, but what it illuminates, what it touches, ripples outward in ways we can't always measure. Every planet it warmed, every cell it stirred awake, every thought it inspired in a tiny creature staring up at the sky. That light echoes, that gravity lingers, that creation never truly vanishes, it transforms. That is the secret of galaxies. They don't just build stars. They build time. Think of it. Somewhere in the ancient arms of a galaxy, a small rocky planet formed around a modest star. On that planet, water pooled. Lightning danced. Molecules clung together, hesitated, and then began to divide. And with that simple act, life began. Life that crawled, swam, climbed, stared at the stars, built telescopes, asked questions, dreamed of things far bigger than itself. That life was us. That life was always part of this story. You don't sit outside of this cosmic architecture. You are carved from it. You are atoms that once belonged to stars, arranged now in the impossible shape of memory, breath, and longing. So as galaxies drift, and stars are born and die, and time unfurls like a great slow tide, remember, you are drifting too, not aimlessly, not alone, but gently, beautifully, as part of it all. And in this moment, quiet, still, infinite, perhaps that's enough. And as we continue to drift, remember this. Even in the vastness, even in the silence, even in the cold final breath of ancient stars, something listens. Not with ears, but with existence. Every particle in your body carries the signature of what came before, of ancient suns, of primordial light, of collisions that shook the very bones of time. Your atoms have waited billions of years to come together, to form this fleeting moment of awareness. And now, here you are, lying in darkness, breathing softly, held in the arms of a galaxy that will never know your name, but cradles you just the same. The Milky Way, that delicate swirl you sometimes see above in places untouched by city lights, is not just a collection of stars. Some memory wrapped around you, a reminder that you are inside something ancient, something ongoing. Every time you blink, you do so with a body composed of elements made in furnaces older than Earth. You are built from the debris of supernovae. Stardust flows in your blood. And though your story feels small, a few decades, a few rooms, a few thoughts, it is part of the universe's unfolding story. Your moments ripple. Now imagine, far beyond the reach of your voice, far beyond the last echo of your thoughts, galaxies continue to spin. Some are forming still, clouds collapsing into newborn stars. Others are dimming, preparing for a long slumber. Each galaxy a whisper of the past, a slow dancer in the great cosmic waltz. There are galaxies that will never be seen by human eyes. They exist in the shadows beyond our instruments, beyond even imagination. And yet they move. They shape the fate of space. They matter. And so do you. Even if the world feels heavy. Even if sleep is hard to find. Even if the day has been long and your thoughts tangled, the universe holds space for you. Quietly, patiently, with no demands. It only asks that you exist, that you breathe, that you be. And in return, it offers you the night sky, the hum of gravity, and the story of galaxies, so that you never forget how much you belong. So let your thoughts go now. Let them drift like comets, like wisps of nebulae, like soft spirals of dust in the light of distant stars. Let your body become weightless, held not by blankets or mattresses, but by time itself, by the same forces that hold galaxies together. Gravity, energy, memory, possibility. And when your eyes finally close, know this. The story of the cosmos does not end with silence. Continues in every breath you take, in every dream that follows, in every moment of stillness when you remember, just for a second, that you are made of everything. And everything is made of you. Sleep now, stardust. The galaxies are still drifting, and you, beautiful fragment of the infinite, are drifting with them. And even as you drift into sleep, your atoms hum with ancient echoes. Hydrogen, born seconds after the Big Bang, still flows through your veins. Carbon, forged in the bellies of stars long gone, frames your bones. Iron, scattered in supernova explosions, settles in your blood. You are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. And somewhere in the folds of your DNA, in the folds of your dreams, the cosmos remembers itself. Beyond your bedroom walls, galaxies continue to stretch apart, slow dancers on a floor of expanding space. Some will collide, merging into new shapes, their stars mixing like ink in water. Some will spin alone for eternity, cradling silent planets, watching light grow thinner with each passing age. But in this moment, in this breath, you are still close to it all. You are in motion, gently pulled by the same gravity that holds moons in orbit and tides in rhythm. Gently lulled by the same forces that once gathered dust into stars and stars into homes. It's easy to forget this with all the noise of daily life. The calendars, the screens, the deadlines. But the stars don't rush. The galaxies don't worry. They simply continue silently, patiently, like breath, like waves, like you. And perhaps that's the secret the universe has been whispering since the beginning. Not that you must do more, be more, achieve more, but that you must remember. Remember your place in this tapestry of becoming. Remember that you are enough, just as you are. A body of light, a soul of silence, a story unfolding one heartbeat at a time. So let go softly. Let the questions melt into stardust. Let the weight of your day dissolve into the slow turning of the earth. You are safe here, in the arms of the infinite. You are stardust, resting. A whisper, waiting. A galaxy, dreaming. And the cosmos, gentle and ancient, dreams with you. And as the cosmos dreams with you, it dreams in spirals, the same spirals you see in shells and storms, in fingerprints and galaxies. These patterns repeat not by accident, but because the universe loves rhythm. It moves in curves, not lines. It flows, it coils, it echoes. In your breathing, in your thoughts, in the pulsing of your blood, the spiral continues. Not just a shape, but a song.
À soft bénéat existence.
This is the music of everything, of protons and planets, of cells dividing in the dark, of galaxies being born in silence. It is a lullaby without end, and you are part of its melody. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to understand it. Just listen. Just be still. Just float. Because long after stars fade and black holes sigh their last breath, the memory of this moment will remain. The moment when you remembered that you belong, that you always have, that every second you've lived has been stitched into the fabric of the cosmos, not lost, but absorbed, held, honored. And if the universe could speak, not in language but in feeling, it would say, you are seen, you are safe, you are sacred. So drift now gently, let the stories dissolve into starlight. Let your heartbeat slow to match the rhythm of the distant sky. You are the galaxy's quiet miracle, a thought wrapped in flesh, a light within darkness, a question that dreamed itself into being. Sleep, traveler of the stars. The cosmos has waited eons to cradle your breath. And tonight, it does. And still, the story flows, like light through space, like wind through trees, like dreams that stretch beyond language. Even as you rest, even as your conscious mind softens, the universe continues to unfold its quiet poem around you. Galaxies turn slowly in the dark, their arms trailing stars like whispers. Nebulae bloom in silence, weaving color and chaos into the fabric of time. Black holes, vast and invisible, cradle the weight of forgotten suns, bending reality with a grace that defies sound. And within this grand cosmic waltz, there is a place for you. Not beside it, not beneath it, but within it. Your story is not separate from the stars. It is stitched from the same thread. Every breath you take is borrowed from a billion-year-old cycle. Every cell in your body has traveled. Through time, through dust, through starlight. Even now, as your thoughts begin to float farther, loosening their grip on the world of waking, the cosmos holds you. Gently, patiently, without judgment. You might dream tonight of places you've never seen, of glowing clouds that stretch across galactic arms, of time slowing, softening, unfolding like silk. You might see yourself riding waves of light, dancing between stars, touching the edge of the unknowable. And when you do, know this, you are not imagining the impossible. You are remembering the truth that you are a piece of the infinite, a temporary form made of eternal ingredients. You are dust that thinks. You are light that rests. You are silence that breathes. And in the great arc of cosmic time, your existence, though brief, is beautiful. Not because of what you produce, not because of what you achieve, but because you are here, alive, aware, listening to the story of galaxies and finding yourself in the echoes. So let the stars spin. Let gravity hum. Let the darkness stretch around you like a soft, endless sea. You are safe here. You are home. The universe is wide. But tonight it has curled in close, just to remind you, you belong. And so the universe holds its breath with you, not in anticipation, not in fear, but in reverence, for the quiet miracle of your being. In the hush of night, with eyelids heavy and heart slow, you become part of something that stretches beyond the span of thought. Every cell in your body, every thread of your DNA, every atom you're composed of was once part of a star, or a cloud, or a speck of dust drifting in the arms of a galaxy. That knowledge isn't meant to make you feel small. It's meant to remind you that you are vast in ways you've never imagined. Because even in your stillness, you carry momentum. Even in sleep, you are orbiting. There are stars that will burn out billions of years from now, and still, some piece of you will have danced beside them. You are memory wrapped in matter. You are the long echo of creation. Beyond the edge of what we can see, new galaxies are forming right now. Born from clouds of hydrogen and gravity's quiet insistence, they spin into being in the silence.
No celebración. No explosión.
Just presence. Just unfolding. Just time doing what it always does, becoming. And you, too, are becoming. Even as you rest. Even as dreams take you elsewhere. Your cells are repairing. Your mind is rewiring. Your soul is remembering. Maybe you dreamed once of being an astronaut. Or a traveler of stars. Or maybe, as a child, you simply looked up and wondered, what's out there? And now, perhaps without realizing it, you are there. You always have been. Because space isn't far away. It's inside you. The same forces that guide comets and sculpt moons are guiding your heartbeat now. So let go. Deeper this time. Let go of the questions you've been carrying all day. Let them float outward, like satellites released into the night. There's no need to solve them now. The stars aren't worried. The galaxies aren't rushing. The universe is never late, and neither are you. And in this vast, unfolding story, your chapter is luminous. You may not see it from inside. You may not always feel its weight. But someone, somewhere, now or centuries from now, will benefit from the way your light touched this world. Maybe through a word. Maybe through a gesture. Maybe through the quiet example of how you rested when the world told you to run. Of how you listened when silence asked to be heard. This is your place in the cosmos. Not to conquer it. Not to understand it all. But to be within it. To belong. To breathe. To drift gently in the same rhythm that moves the stars. And if, for a moment tonight, you forget that truth, just close your eyes and feel the pull. Gravity will remind you, light will find you, and the galaxies will wait, spinning slowly until you're ready to wake again. And while you sleep, the universe does not pause, it flows on as it always has, as it always will. Stars are born in dark nurseries where gas clouds collapse under their own weight, igniting nuclear fire that will burn for billions of years. These stars are the quiet architects of everything, forging the elements in their cores, pushing them out in waves of light, setting the stage for life. And some of those atoms will drift across space, settling into new systems, new planets, new stories, just like yours. And so the cycle continues. There are galaxies so distant, their light has taken nearly the full age of the universe to reach us. When we look at them, we aren't seeing them as they are, we're seeing them as they were. Which means time, too, becomes a kind of space. We peer into the past not through memory, but through photons. And in a strange way, this is how we exist too, as echoes of moments long gone, shaped by histories we never witnessed, yet carry inside us. You, lying there now, are the product of countless generations, not just of people but of stars, not just of ancestors but of forces, of gravity, of expansion, of entropy. And yet, despite all that vast machinery, you feel, you hope, you wonder. That is not small. That is astonishing. In a universe that spans trillions of miles and untold eons, your quiet thought, your smallest dream, is a flame. It may not light the whole galaxy, but it matters, because it burns, because it lives. And while stars burn hot and galaxies spin slow, your consciousness flickers in its own rhythm, bright, brief, meaningful. Maybe you've felt lost, like a speck adrift in a sea of stars. But maybe you've misunderstood the point. You are not meant to outshine the cosmos. You are meant to reflect it, to carry its echo, to be its voice briefly, in laughter, in love, in sleep. So when you finally drift off, know this. You are cradled not just by your bed, or your room, or your world, but by everything. By particles that once roamed the early universe. By atoms that once swam in stars. By silence that remembers the beginning. You are not separate. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are the cosmos briefly dreaming of itself. Sleep well, stardust. The galaxies will keep spinning for you. And still they spin, the galaxies, vast and patient, silent and slow. They move not with urgency but with understanding, as if they know something we've only just begun to remember. That life is not in the rush, but in the rhythm. That beauty is not born of speed, but of surrender. And perhaps that's why they spiral. not in straight lines, not toward conclusions, but in ever-widening arms, reaching gently through time. Just like your breath right now, soft and steady. Just like the thoughts that begin to blur into dreams. Above you, far above, beyond clouds, beyond the pull of earth, beyond even the edge of your imagination. Stars are dying and stars are being born. Some collapse in silence, becoming black holes, those strange, invisible mouths in space that eat light and time. Others explode in brilliant supernovae, scattering their riches into the void. And that stardust, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, comes from those explosions. Your body is a story of stellar death and rebirth. You don't carry the past metaphorically, you carry it literally. You are the future of ancient things. And as your breathing deepens, your mind drifts through that understanding. Not as knowledge, but as feeling, as comfort, as homecoming. You don't need to know how fusion works, or how black holes warp time, or how light curves through gravity. You only need to know this: you belong in that story. You are not watching it from outside. You are made of it, carried by it, loved by it, in a quiet, wordless way. Maybe you'll dream tonight of drifting through a nebula, a swirl of color and light, glowing silently in the dark, or of walking across the surface of a planet no one has named yet, under a sky filled with twin suns. Or maybe you'll simply sleep, undisturbed and at peace, knowing the stars above you are still watching, still shining, still spinning even when you can't see them. And that's the gift of the cosmos. It doesn't demand attention. It simply offers presence. It starts with a collapse. Not dramatic, but slow. A cloud of gas and dust, drifting unnoticed in a spiral arm of a galaxy, begins to contract under its own gravity. It spins, flattens, it warms. At the center, a star ignites. But surrounding that new sun is something even more remarkable. A disk, white, spinning, glowing faintly in the infrared. In this disk are the seeds of planets. Tiny grains of rock and ice bump into one another. Some stick, some shatter. But over time, millions of years, dust becomes pebble, pebble becomes boulder, boulder becomes world. It is messy, violent, glorious. These infant planets, called planetesimals, collide, merge, and migrate. Some are flung into deep space. Others spiral inward and vanish into their sun. But some survive, locked into quiet, stable orbits. In this way, a solar system is sculpted not by precision but by persistence. Closer to the star, where heat reigns, rocky worlds emerge. Mercury,
Venu,
Earth, Mars. Worlds with solid ground, some with atmospheres, some scorched and silent. Farther out, in the colder regions of the disk, gas giants form: Jupiter and Saturn, vast and bloated with hydrogen and helium. Beyond them, icy bodies dance. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and 1,000 more, hidden in the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. And then, there's Earth, small, blue, breathing, one rock among billions, yet somehow impossibly a home. Here, everything came together just right. The distance from the sun, the protective pull of the moon, the swirling magnetic field shielding us from the solar wind, the presence of liquid water, and a chemistry that seems almost ambitious. From volcanoes and oceans, from lightning and time, molecules learned to copy themselves. Life began, first as simple cells, then as communities, then as creatures that walked and wondered and dreamed. Earth became a storyteller and you, its latest chapter. But Earth did not form alone. It carries echoes of ancient collisions, scars from the early solar system's chaos. The moon, for example, was born when a Mars-sized body slammed into young Earth, flinging debris into orbit. That debris coalesced. A satellite formed, forever bound, forever watching. And Earth is not done changing. Tectonic plates shift, continents drift, oceans rise and fall. Life adapts. The story continues. Even now, as you breathe in this moment, the solar system turns, silently, gracefully, in its 4.6 billion-year dance. The planets follow invisible paths carved by gravity, spinning and circling in a rhythm that will outlast every city, every name, every noise. One day, Earth's story may end. The sun will expand into a red giant, swallowing Mercury, Venus, and perhaps Earth itself. But that day is far off, billions of years from now. For now, the sun still shines, the planets still spin, and we are here, aware, alive, asking how it all came to be. Then let us wander now through air and water, through warmth and wind, through the delicate, layered beauty of a planet becoming not just livable, but alive. Because having a planet is one thing, but having a world with oceans, seasons, and life, that is something far more rare. When Earth first formed, it was hostile, violent, its skies choked with volcanic gases, its surface molten, battered by meteorites. But even in that chaos, something was stirring. Water, perhaps delivered by comets or released from deep within, began to collect. Rain fell, pools gathered, oceans spread. The Earth began to cool. And in those waters, something changed. Somewhere, somehow, the right molecules came together. Perhaps in deep-sea vents, rich with minerals. Perhaps in shallow tide pools warmed by sunlight. We do not know exactly where. But life began. Simple, fragile, single-celled, but persistent. At first, these early organisms lived quietly, drifting and dividing. But then, something extraordinary happened. A group of microbes, cyanobacteria, learned to use sunlight to split water and create energy, photosynthesis, and as a byproduct, they released oxygen. The air began to change. At first, the oxygen reacted with iron in the oceans, forming rust-colored layers in ancient rocks. But eventually, it filled the atmosphere. And once there was enough, something new became possible. Complex life. Cells with nuclei. Organisms that could grow, specialize, evolve. Multicellular life was born, and with it, an explosion of diversity. Corals and jellyfish. Worms and trilobites. Ferns and fish. The seas teemed with movement. Life crawled onto land. Plants took root. Insects buzzed. Dinosaurs thundered. Birds rose. Mammals scattered. Apes emerged. And eventually you. But behind every evolutionary leap was a planet constantly in motion. Tectonic plates shifted, raising mountains and tearing continents apart. Volcanoes sculpted the landscape and altered the climate. Ice ages came and went, carving valleys and resetting ecosystems. The moon stabilized Earth's tilt, creating stable seasons. And Earth's magnetic field shielded us from cosmic radiation, preserving the fragile molecules of life. The atmosphere, a blend of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other trace gases, acted as both blanket and filter, kept warmth in and harmful rays out. Clouds formed, weather danced, and over time a balance emerged, dynamic, imperfect, but enough for life to thrive. But it is a delicate balance. Too much carbon and the planet warms. Too little and it freezes. The thin veil of gases above us is only a sliver thick, yet it holds everything we need: breath, rain, wind, protection. It is the quiet miracle we walk beneath, often without looking up. And the oceans, vast and dark, regulate climate, absorb carbon, cradle life. They pulse with tides pulled by the moon, stir with currents driven by wind and temperature. Within them, the story of life began, and it continues, in every droplet, every wave. This is Earth, not just a rock, but a system, a story, a sanctuary. Everything, from the weather outside your window to the thoughts in your mind, is shaped by this ancient interplay of water, air, sunlight, and time. And it is rare. As we look out into the cosmos, we find planets. Thousands. Some with atmospheres. Some with water. But none so far quite like Earth. A place where the chemistry of rocks dances with the rhythm of life. A place where trees turn sunlight into shade. A place where minds wonder where they came from. And so we ask, could there be others? Other Earths? Other stories like ours, waiting to be discovered? For centuries, we thought planets were rare, that our solar system was unique, that Earth, with its liquid water and complex life, was an outlier in a cold, indifferent universe. But now we know better. We have found thousands of exoplanets, planets that orbit stars other than our sun. Some are giant and gaseous, larger than Jupiter. Some are scorched, clinging too close to their stars. Others are icy, distant, locked in darkness. But a precious few, small, rocky, and temperate, reside in the so-called Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, just right, for life perhaps. These exoplanets are hard to see. They don't shine. They don't twinkle. Most of them have never been imaged directly. Instead, we detect them by watching their stars flicker, dim slightly, ever so gently, as a planet passes in front. Or we watch the way a star wobbles, tugged by a planet's silent gravity. From these tiny signals, we infer their size, their orbit, their temperature. In some cases, we can even glimpse their atmospheres, tasting their chemical makeup by the light that filters through as they transit their stars. And in those spectra, we look for signs: oxygen, methane, water vapor, clues, not proof but possibility. One of the most exciting targets lies just 39 light-years away, the TRAPPIST-1 system. 7 Earth-sized planets orbit a cool red dwarf star. 3 of them sit squarely in the habitable zone. Could there be oceans there? Could there be clouds? Could there be someone? It's too early to know. But telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope are now peering deeper than ever before, not just to photograph distant galaxies, but to sniff the atmospheres of faraway worlds. We are searching, not for aliens in spaceships, but for chemistry, for conditions, for the slow, patient fingerprint of biology. And with every planet we find, Earth feels both smaller and more precious. Because the more we look, the more we realize life, if it exists elsewhere, might be rare. Or it might be common but hard to detect. Or it might be so different we wouldn't even recognize it. It could be silicon-based instead of carbon. It might not need oxygen. It might not even think. But the question remains, are we alone? In the silence between stars, is there another mind, wondering the same thing, looking out, hoping, waiting? The answer may come in a flicker of light, in a whisper of radio static, in a chemical signature we don't yet understand. Or it may not come at all. But that hasn't stopped us from listening. Projects like SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, have been scanning the skies for decades, not expecting a message necessarily, but hoping. And even if we never hear back, the act of listening is its own kind of beauty. Because in listening, we say, we are here, we are curious, we are ready. And as we send our probes outward, Voyager, New Horizons, and someday others, we are leaving little messages in bottles. Greetings etched in metal. Songs of our species. Pictures of our world. Quiet declarations of existence, drifting into forever. We may never hear a reply, but the search itself connects us. Not just to others, but to each other. Across languages, borders, and beliefs, we share this sky, this question, this longing. Then let us sail onward, not through oceans of water now, but through oceans of time, waves of gravity, and the long, unfolding story of the universe's future. For as much as we've looked back, to the Big Bang, to the first atoms, to the dawn of galaxies, there is an equally mesmerizing journey that lies ahead. Galaxies, those sprawling star cities we see strewn across the night sky, are not frozen in place. They drift, they collide, they merge. Our own Milky Way, with its spiraling arms and glowing heart, is already on a slow, graceful collision course with its neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. Don't worry, it won't happen for another 4 billion years or so. But when it does, it won't be an explosion. Stars are far too distant for that. Instead, it'll be more like clouds mingling. The two galaxies will pass through one another, drawn together again and again by gravity until they settle into a new shape, a single, larger galaxy, often called Milkomeda by astronomers with a poetic streak. From Earth, if there are still eyes to see, the night sky will bloom. Andromeda will grow larger and brighter with each passing eon, until it fills the heavens. And then, as the galaxies begin to dance and intertwine, new stars will be born in the chaos. their light a gift of collision. But time rolls on. Stars, like stories, have lifespans. Small ones burn slow and live long. Large ones flare hot and die young. And when they die, they do not vanish. They transform. Some end in quiet fades, becoming white dwarfs, glowing embers that cool over trillions of years. Others go out in supernovae, scattering their atoms into the galaxy, creating the elements that make up planets, oceans, and people. And some collapse entirely, becoming black holes. Places where space and time fold inward, and not even light escapes. These black holes don't just sit still. They drift through galaxies. They grow. At the heart of almost every galaxy, there is a supermassive black hole millions or billions of times the mass of the Sun. Ours is called Sagittarius A*, and though it is quiet now, it once fed on stars and dust, shining with X-rays and radiation. In time, as galaxies merge and age, these black holes may meet. And when they do, they spiral toward one another, slowly, silently, until they collide in a burst of gravitational waves. Ripples in spacetime itself. Echoes of ancient events. But even black holes are not forever. Stephen Hawking proposed that they slowly evaporate, releasing tiny amounts of energy over unimaginable timescales. A black hole the size of a star could take 10 years to fully vanish, a number so large it defies comprehension. But eventually, even these cosmic giants may fade. And what then? We enter what some call the degenerate era, a time when stars no longer form, when galaxies grow dim, and when only the remnants remain: white dwarfs, neutron stars, black holes. The universe will be dark, cold, and still, but not empty. Quantum mechanics tells us that even in the coldest vacuum, particles flicker into existence. Over eons, these random events might lead to new possibilities, new physics, new beginnings, or the universe may simply drift into heat death, a state of maximum entropy, where no more work can be done, no more energy flows, no more light shines. Just a cold, silent canvas, stretched thin across eternity. And yet, there are other ideas. Some theories suggest that the universe could one day bounce, that after expanding and fading, it might collapse inward in a big crunch, only to be reborn in a new Big Bang. Others imagine a multiverse, where our universe is but one bubble in a vast cosmic foam. Some theorists dream of a quantum reboot, where fluctuations give rise to a new universe with new laws of physics. The truth? We don't know. But the not knowing, that's the beauty. We are creatures made of stardust, walking on a cooling rock, orbiting an average star in an ordinary galaxy. And yet we can ask about the fate of the cosmos. We can imagine billions of years into the future. We can tell stories not just of where we've been, but of where we're going. And maybe that is the real miracle. Not the galaxies or the stars or the black holes, but the fact that we can wonder, that we can dream, then drift further still, past endings, past silence, past the cooling hush of a universe slowing its breath. For while the galaxies may fade, and stars may whisper out, the echo of their presence will remain in the fabric of space itself. Gravity will continue to stretch and tug, long after the lights have gone. And though time itself may seem to unravel in slow motion, it does not stop. It bends. It meanders. It watches. Imagine a universe filled only with remnants. The skeletal cores of stars, frozen planets drifting like forgotten toys, and the distant hum of particles flickering into and out of existence. There is no sun to rise, no warmth to feel, but still in that hush there is presence. A kind of deep, endless waiting, perhaps not for something to happen, but for the memory of what was to settle fully into what is. And yet, even here, the laws that govern everything remain untouched. Electrons spin, space curves, the quantum foam bubbles in its secret language. It is the quietest moment in existence, and yet, the rules remain. The orchestra has fallen silent, but the instruments still hum with potential. Because the cosmos doesn't need an audience to play its song. It simply plays. And what of life? This brief flicker of awareness that once looked up, once wondered, once sent golden discs and digital signals into the stars hoping someone might answer. Was it just a phase like starlight? A warm anomaly in the cold equation? Or is it part of something larger, an impulse woven into the structure of spacetime itself? A need not just to be, but to know? Maybe consciousness is like gravity, inevitable given the right ingredients. Maybe it will rise again somewhere else, someone else. Maybe, long after our atoms have returned to dust and drifted between stars, some future form of awareness will emerge in a world so different from ours it would be unrecognizable. And yet, it too might gaze at the heavens and wonder how it all began. It too might write its questions in the dark, and hope the light finds them. And in that distant mind, a single strand of thought might echo one we've whispered so many times. Where do we come from? What are we made of? Are we alone? Because questions, like galaxies, drift. They evolve. They get passed on. And even if the answers change, the longing never dies. So let the universe continue. Let it unfold. Let it dissolve. Let it sing its quiet, patient song into the endless dark. And let us sleep beneath it, cradled by its mystery, knowing that for a brief moment in cosmic time, we were part of the story. And so we float not just through space but through thought, through the slow pulse of questions older than language. The story of the cosmos isn't just written in stars and spirals. It's written in silence, in symmetry, in the quiet rules that hold it all together. Even now, with the universe aging gracefully, there are still patterns, still structure. Dark matter threads its invisible filaments through the void, holding galaxies in loose embrace. Dark energy whispers expansion, gently pushing the very fabric of space outward, farther, colder, dimmer with every passing eon. Yet, within this grand slow motion, the seeds of future stories still drift. There are rogue planets, orphaned worlds, cast out of their solar systems, adrift in interstellar darkness. Some may carry oceans beneath icy shells, warmed by radioactive decay. Some may bear storms or minerals or strange magnetic pulses, hinting at forgotten beginnings. No star shines on them, but still they move, evidence that the universe is more than what we see. There are also moons, frozen or fiery, some with subterranean seas, others cloaked in methane rain. Places like Europa and Enceladus, Titan, not lifeless, just waiting. Waiting for heat, for chemistry, for a spark. We used to think life required sunlight, but we've learned it only needs gradients, differences in energy. A warm crack in a cold world. A vent, a current, a chance. Life might not be a miracle. It might be a tendency. And if that's true, then somewhere in the quiet corners of this galaxy, or a million galaxies more, there may already be others. Not like us necessarily. Not human, but curious, observant, aware, and perhaps, like us, they look up at their skies and wonder where they fit in the great unfolding. The universe, after all, is not a place where things merely happen. It is a place where things become. Stars become ash. Ash becomes soil. Soil becomes cells. Cells become eyes. And eyes become questions. We are the questions of the cosmos, asked, shaped, and flung outward in search of echo. And perhaps, that is what galaxies are too. Not just engines of stars, but great thoughts written across billions of light years. Pulsing, evolving, drifting not with chaos, but with purpose. Not human purpose, but something deeper. An order, a rhythm, a breath. And you, lying in your bed, perhaps half asleep now, listening with heavy eyes, are part of that rhythm. Your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, no matter how small they seem, are stitched from that same star stuff. You are not separate. You are not distant. You are part of this. You always have been. So as galaxies drift, and stars are born and die, and time unfurls like a great slow tide, remember, you are drifting too. Not aimlessly, not alone, but gently, beautifully, as part of it all. And in this moment, quiet, still, infinite, perhaps that's enough. And as we continue to drift, remember this. Even in the vastness, even in the silence, even in the cold final breath of ancient stars, something listens. Not with ears, but with existence. Every particle in your body carries the signature of what came before, of ancient suns, of primordial light, of collisions that shook the very bones of time. Your atoms have waited billions of years to come together, to form this fleeting moment of awareness. And now, here you are, lying in darkness, breathing softly, held in the arms of a galaxy that will never know your name, but cradles you just the same. The Milky Way, that delicate swirl you sometimes see above in places untouched by city lights, is not just a collection of stars. Some memory wrapped around you, a reminder that you are inside something ancient, something ongoing. Every time you blink, you do so with a body composed of elements made in furnaces older than Earth. You are built from the debris of supernovae. Stardust flows in your blood. And though your story feels small, a few decades, a few rooms, a few thoughts, it is part of the universe's unfolding story. Your moments ripple. Now imagine, far beyond the reach of your voice, far beyond the last echo of your thoughts, galaxies continue to spin. Some are forming still, clouds collapsing into newborn stars. Others are dimming, preparing for a long slumber. Each galaxy a whisper of the past, a slow dancer in the great cosmic waltz. There are galaxies that will never be seen by human eyes. They exist in the shadows beyond our instruments, beyond even imagination. And yet they move. They shape the fate of space. They matter, and so do you. Even if the world feels heavy, even if sleep is hard to find, even if the day has been long and your thoughts tangled, the universe holds space for you, quietly, patiently, with no demands. It only asks that you exist, that you breathe, that you be. And in return, it offers you the night sky, the hum of gravity, and the story of galaxies, so that you never forget how much you belong. So let your thoughts go now. Let them drift like comets, like wisps of nebulae, like soft spirals of dust in the light of distant stars. Let your body become weightless, held not by blankets or mattresses, but by time itself, by the same forces that hold galaxies together. Gravity, energy, memory, possibility. And when your eyes finally close, know this: the story of the cosmos does not end with silence. Continues in every breath you take, in every dream that follows, in every moment of stillness when you remember, just for a second, that you are made of everything, and everything is made of you. Sleep now, stardust. The galaxies are still drifting, and you, beautiful fragment of the infinite, are drifting with them. And even as you drift into sleep, your atoms hum with ancient echoes. Hydrogen, born seconds after the Big Bang, still flows through your veins. Carbon, forged in the bellies of stars long gone, frames your bones. Iron, scattered in supernova explosions, settles in your blood. You are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. And somewhere in the folds of your DNA, in the folds of your dreams, the cosmos remembers itself. Beyond your bedroom walls, galaxies continue to stretch apart, slow dancers on a floor of expanding space. Some will collide, merging into new shapes, their stars mixing like ink in water. Some will spin alone for eternity, cradling silent planets, watching light grow thinner with each passing age. But in this moment, in this breath, you are still close to it all. You are in motion, gently pulled by the same gravity that holds moons in orbit and tides in rhythm. Gently lulled by the same forces that once gathered dust into stars and stars into homes. It's easy to forget this with all the noise of daily life. The calendars, the screens, the deadlines. But the stars don't rush. The galaxies don't worry. They simply continue silently, patiently. Like breath, like waves, like you. And perhaps that's the secret the universe has been whispering since the beginning. Not that you must do more, be more, achieve more, but that you must remember. Remember your place in this tapestry of becoming. Remember that you are enough, just as you are. A body of light, a soul of silence, a story unfolding one heartbeat at a time. So let go softly. Let the questions melt into stardust. Let the weight of your day dissolve into the slow turning of the earth. You are safe here, in the arms of the infinite. You are stardust, resting, a whisper, waiting, a galaxy dreaming, and the cosmos, gentle and ancient, dreams with you. And as the cosmos dreams with you, it dreams in spirals, the same spirals you see in shells and storms, in fingerprints and galaxies. These patterns repeat not by accident, but because the universe loves rhythm. It moves in curves, not lines. It flows, it coils, it echoes. In your breathing, in your thoughts, in the pulsing of your blood, the spiral continues. Not just a shape, but a song. A soft hum beneath existence. This is the music of everything. Of protons and planets. Of cells dividing in the dark. Of galaxies being born in silence. It is a lullaby without end, and you are part of its melody. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to understand it. Just listen. Just be still. Just float. Because long after stars fade and black holes sigh their last breath, the memory of this moment will remain. The moment when you remembered that you belong, that you always have, that every second you've lived has been stitched into the fabric of the cosmos. Not lost, but absorbed, held, honored. And if the universe could speak, not in language but in feeling, it would say, you are seen, you are safe, you are sacred. So drift now gently, let the stories dissolve into starlight. Let your heartbeat slow to match the rhythm of the distant sky. You are the galaxy's quiet miracle, a thought wrapped in flesh, a light within darkness, a question that dreamed itself into being. Sleep, traveler of the stars. The cosmos has waited eons to cradle your breath. And tonight, it does. And still, the story flows, like light through space, like wind through trees, like dreams that stretch beyond language. Even as you rest, even as your conscious mind softens, the universe continues to unfold its quiet poem around you. Galaxies turn slowly in the dark, their arms trailing stars like whispers. Nebulae bloom in silence, weaving color and chaos into the fabric of time. Black holes, vast and invisible, cradle the weight of forgotten suns, bending reality with a grace that defies sound. And within this grand cosmic waltz, there is a place for you. Not beside it, not beneath it, but within it. Your story is not separate from the stars. It is stitched from the same thread. Every breath you take is borrowed from a billion-year-old cycle. Every cell in your body has traveled. Through time, through dust, through starlight. Even now, as your thoughts begin to float farther, loosening their grip on the world of waking, the cosmos holds you. Gently, patiently, without judgment. You might dream tonight of places you've never seen, of glowing clouds that stretch across galactic arms, of time slowing, softening, unfolding like silk. You might see yourself riding waves of light, dancing between stars, touching the edge of the unknowable. And when you do know this, you are not imagining the impossible. You are remembering the truth that you are a piece of the infinite, a temporary form made of eternal ingredients. You are dust that thinks. You are light that rests. You are silence that breathes. And in the great arc of cosmic time, your existence, though brief, is beautiful. Not because of what you produce, not because of what you achieve, but because you are here, alive, aware, listening to the story of galaxies and finding yourself in the echoes. So let the stars spin. Let gravity hum. Let the darkness stretch around you like a soft, endless sea. You are safe here. You are home. The universe is wide. But tonight it has curled in close, just to remind you, you belong. And so the universe holds its breath with you, not in anticipation, not in fear, but in reverence, for the quiet miracle of your being. In the hush of night, with eyelids heavy and heart slow, you become part of something that stretches beyond the span of thought. Every cell in your body, every thread of your DNA, every atom you're composed of was once part of a star, or a cloud, or a speck of dust drifting in the arms of a galaxy. That knowledge isn't meant to make you feel small. It's meant to remind you that you are vast in ways you've never imagined. Because even in your stillness, you carry momentum. Even in sleep, you are orbiting. There are stars that will burn out billions of years from now, and still, some piece of you will have danced beside them. You are memory wrapped in matter. You are the long echo of creation. Beyond the edge of what we can see, new galaxies are forming right now. Born from clouds of hydrogen and gravity's quiet insistence, they spin into being in the silence.
No celebración. No explosión.
Just presence. Just unfolding. Just time doing what it always does, becoming. And you, too, are becoming. Even as you rest. Even as dreams take you elsewhere. Your cells are repairing. Your mind is rewiring. Your soul is remembering. Maybe you dreamed once of being an astronaut. Or a traveler of stars. Or maybe, as a child, you simply looked up and wondered, what's out there? And now, perhaps without realizing it, you are there. You always have been. Because space isn't far away. It's inside you. The same forces that guide comets and sculpt moons are guiding your heartbeat now. So let go. Deeper this time. Let go of the questions you've been carrying all day. Let them float outward, like satellites released into the night. There's no need to solve them now. The stars aren't worried. The galaxies aren't rushing. The universe is never late, and neither are you. And in this vast, unfolding story, your chapter is luminous. You may not see it from inside. You may not always feel its weight. But someone, somewhere, now or centuries from now, will benefit from the way your light touched this world. Maybe through a word. Maybe through a gesture. Maybe through the quiet example of how you rested when the world told you to run. Of how you listened when silence asked to be heard. This is your place in the cosmos. Not to conquer it. Not to understand it all. But to be within it. To belong. To breathe. To drift gently in the same rhythm that moves the stars. And if, for a moment tonight, you forget that truth, just close your eyes and feel the pull. Gravity will remind you. Light will find you. And the galaxies will wait, spinning slowly until you're ready to wake again. And while you sleep, the universe does not pause. It flows on, as it always has, as it always will. Stars are born in dark nurseries where gas clouds collapse under their own weight, igniting nuclear fire that will burn for billions of years. These stars are the quiet architects of everything, forging the elements in their cores, pushing them out in waves of light, setting the stage for life. And some of those atoms will drift across space, settling into new systems, new planets, new stories, just like yours. And so the cycle continues. There are galaxies so distant, their light has taken nearly the full age of the universe to reach us. When we look at them, we aren't seeing them as they are, we're seeing them as they were. Which means time, too, becomes a kind of space. We peer into the past not through memory, but through photons. And in a strange way, this is how we exist too, as echoes of moments long gone, shaped by histories we never witnessed, yet carry inside us. You, lying there now, are the product of countless generations, not just of people but of stars, not just of ancestors but of forces, of gravity, of expansion, of entropy. And yet, despite all that vast machinery, you feel, you hope, you wonder. That is not small. That is astonishing. In a universe that spans trillions of miles and untold eons, your quiet thought, your smallest dream, is a flame. It may not light the whole galaxy, but it matters, because it burns, because it lives. And while stars burn hot and galaxies spin slow, your consciousness flickers in its own rhythm, bright, brief, meaningful. Maybe you've felt lost, like a speck adrift in a sea of stars. But maybe you've misunderstood the point. You are not meant to outshine the cosmos. You are meant to reflect it, to carry its echo, to be its voice briefly in laughter, in love, in sleep. So when you finally drift off, know this. You are cradled not just by your bed, or your room, or your world, but by everything. By particles that once roamed the early universe. By atoms that once swam in stars. By silence that remembers the beginning. You are not separate. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are the cosmos briefly dreaming of itself. Sleep well, stardust. The galaxies will keep spinning for you. And still they spin, the galaxies, vast and patient, silent and slow. They move not with urgency but with understanding, as if they know something we've only just begun to remember. That life is not in the rush, but in the rhythm. That beauty is not born of speed, but of surrender. And perhaps that's why they spiral. Not in straight lines, not toward conclusions, but in ever-widening arms, reaching gently through time. Just like your breath right now, soft and steady. Just like the thoughts that begin to blur into dreams. Above you, far above, beyond clouds, beyond the pull of earth, beyond even the edge of your imagination. Stars are dying and stars are being born. Some collapse in silence, becoming black holes, those strange, invisible mouths in space that eat light and time. Others explode in brilliant supernovae, scattering their riches into the void. And that stardust, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, comes from those explosions. Your body is a story of stellar death and rebirth. You don't carry the past metaphorically, you carry it literally. You are the future of ancient things. And as your breathing deepens, your mind drifts through that understanding. Not as knowledge, but as feeling, as comfort, as homecoming. You don't need to know how fusion works or how black holes warp time or how light curves through gravity. You only need to know this: you belong in that story. You are not watching it from outside. You are made of it, carried by it, loved by it, in a quiet, wordless way. Maybe you'll dream tonight of drifting through a nebula, a swirl of color and light, glowing silently in the dark, or of walking across the surface of a planet no one has named yet, under a sky filled with twin suns. Or maybe you'll simply sleep, undisturbed and at peace, knowing the stars above you are still watching, still shining, still spinning even when you can't see them. And that's the gift of the cosmos. It doesn't demand attention. It simply offers presence. It whispers, not shouts. And in that whisper is an invitation to slow down, to listen, to rest. So let yourself float. You don't need to hold on to anything now. Not the worries of your day, not the questions of tomorrow. Let them dissolve like stardust on the wind. This moment is enough. This breath is enough. This quiet is enough. Because the universe is still becoming. And so are you. And in that gentle becoming, something miraculous unfolds. Not in noise or spectacle, but in the slow turning of stars, in the soft silence between heartbeats, in the warmth that lingers in your chest when you realize you are part of this. Not just a witness, but a thread in the fabric. A note in the endless cosmic song. Far from here, galaxies collide in graceful dances that take billions of years. They do not fight, they merge, embrace, entwine. Stars are tossed into new patterns, planets are born from the chaos, and still the dance continues, slow and unhurried. From our tiny vantage point, it seems violent. But the universe has always known how to turn endings into beginnings. That is its rhythm. And it is yours too. You have changed more times than you can count. Not just in body, but in soul. You have grown and shed and remembered and forgotten, and every version of you still lives within you, just as the universe carries every echo of every star that's ever burned. The cosmos doesn't discard its past. It layers it, builds upon it, wraps it gently around the present. So too with you, somewhere, a pulsar spins, a collapsed star, still flickering, still pulsing out its heartbeat across space. Somewhere else, a comet is returning, its icy tail catching sunlight as it drifts close to a star it has visited for eons. And in between, in the vast, inky dark, countless photons travel, carrying ancient messages across the quiet. You are one of those messages. You are one of those lights. And even in sleep, you shine. The atoms that make up your dreams were once scattered across galaxies. The silence that cradles your rest is the same silence that held the first stars as they ignited. Time itself bends around your stillness. The universe leans in, not to fix, not to change, but to witness. Because you, in all your quiet complexity, are the miracle it's been waiting to hear. So let your thoughts drift like satellites untethered. Let your bones soften like moonlight on water. Let your breath flow with the same ease as gravity curves through space. There is nothing more you need to do tonight. No journey to chase. No destination to reach. You are already here in the heart of the cosmos, in the rhythm of its becoming, in the stillness that echoes with stars. And as you sink deeper into that stillness, something extraordinary begins to settle. Not above you, not around you, but within you. A vastness, a gentleness, a kind of belonging that doesn't need explanation. Because here, in this moment, the line between you and the universe disappears. There is no edge to you.
No boundary.
Only breath, only space, only stardust, humming quietly in your cells. If you could see with different eyes, you'd notice the way your body glows faintly. Not from light, but from motion, from memory, from the quiet nuclear fire that fuels every living thing. You are radiant in a way that stars would recognize. Not because you burn, but because you endure. Softly, constantly. In a distant galaxy, light is curving around a black hole, bent by gravity in a perfect arc that no hand could trace. That light will never reach you. Not in this lifetime, not in 1,000 more. But it moves anyway. It shines anyway, just as you do. Your kindness, your patience, your quiet strength, they travel further than you know. They bend through time. They echo in others. They become constellations in the hearts of people who've stood near your light. And while your mind begins to drift now, not away but deeper, let the universe continue its lullaby. Let it remind you that galaxies don't rush, that stars don't worry, that nothing beautiful ever forces its arrival. It unfolds, it breathes, it waits, like you are waiting, like you are unfolding. Somewhere in the dark, a nebula stretches, clouds of dust and gas slowly gathering themselves into new stars, new worlds, new beginnings. That's what this night is for. Not just for sleep, but for soft formation. For becoming even in rest. The pulse of the universe matches your own now. Slow, steady, timeless. And in this breath, in this hush, in this infinite quiet, you are exactly where you're meant to be. And as you continue floating through this cosmic hush, time itself seems to loosen its grip. Minutes stretch like gentle waves on a moonlit shore, and hours blur into soft stardust at the edge of your awareness. There is no urgency here.
No alarms.
Only the slow, sacred rhythm of something far older than clocks. The rhythm of the universe, breathing with you. Your body, warm and still, is like a small planet tucked beneath a quilt of gravity and dreams. Each inhale draws in the calm of distant galaxies. Each exhale releases the noise of days gone by. You're not just lying still, you're orbiting peace, rotating gently toward a deeper quiet, becoming light in motion. Out there, past the constellations, past the satellites, past even the edge of what our telescopes can see, galaxies are drifting, pulled by the invisible hands of dark matter, swaying slowly in a kind of cosmic waltz. We don't know exactly why they move the way they do, but they move. They are drawn toward something. And so are you. You've always been moving even when you were still. Your atoms have been borrowed and reshaped 1,000 times. From oceans to clouds to tears to laughter. You have belonged to earth, to fire, to wind. And now you belong to this moment, to this breath, to this sacred stillness. The stars do not judge. They do not ask who you are or what you've done, or whether you've gotten everything right. They simply shine and wait. And right now they are waiting with you, not for answers, not for action, but simply to remind you you are enough. Just like this, just like now. So let the weight of your body melt into the bed beneath you, as if gravity itself has decided to hold you more gently tonight. Let your thoughts soften like moonlight over water, scattering, shimmering, dissolving. There is no need to chase them. Let them go. The galaxies are spinning. The universe is expanding. And you are becoming weightless. Somewhere, light that left a star millions of years ago is just now touching the edge of a telescope. A silent arrival. Patient journey. That is what you are now. A slow, silent becoming. A light arriving. A star remembered. And though you may sleep soon, perhaps already the story continues. Softly, silently, galaxies adrift, and you, gently floating with them. And still the story unfolds. Beyond language, beyond sound, a quiet narrative stitched into space itself. Not with ink, but with gravity and light, with dust and time. Galaxies turn like ancient wheels, their spiraling arms sweeping through epochs, as if sweeping memories across a sky too vast to name. You are not separate from these motions. You are folded into them. Every cell in your body, every quiet pulse in your wrist, echoes the rhythm of stars being born and stars falling into silence. Imagine now, drifting past the great cosmic filaments that bind the universe together, invisible strands of dark matter like threads in an infinite loom. They stretch between galaxies, shaping where stars can live and where space must remain silent. These threads don't glow, but they hold everything. They are unseen but essential. And isn't that the way with so much of what holds us together, the gravity of kindness, the pull of memory, the structure of love? Quiet forces, invisible scaffolding. You felt them. You are made of them. Beneath this, deeper still, lies the hum of the cosmic microwave background, the first light still whispering. It speaks in microwaves, in silence too wide to hear. And yet, it's always there. A lullaby from the beginning of time. You've never heard it, but your atoms remember. Your breath carries its rhythm. Close your eyes now if they're not already closed. Let your mind settle like stardust falling gently onto a forgotten world. You are not falling asleep. You are joining a larger stillness. A stillness that holds planets and black holes and you, equally, with the same grace. Somewhere, a star is flickering at the edge of its life. It doesn't know you're thinking of it, but maybe, in this strange and sacred universe, it doesn't have to. Maybe your calm is part of its goodbye. Maybe your rest is part of its final song. You are a moment in that song. You don't need to understand everything to be part of it. You don't need to fix anything, solve anything, or become anything tonight. You already are. As full as the moon, as gentle as shadow, as infinite as a breath taken by a galaxy long gone. So breathe now as slowly as light travels across galaxies. You are home, in the arms of the universe. And the universe is not in a rush. Neither are you. Let yourself drift. Let the galaxies carry you. Let the quiet speak your name without a sound. You are not alone. You never were. And as you drift deeper into this quiet expanse, it becomes clear. Sleep isn't an escape from the universe. It's a return to it. A reunion with the soft, ancient rhythms that have always held you. In the dark, your body knows this. It slows. It trusts. It lets go. And the stars, they do not stop for your rest. They continue shining, just as your heart continues beating, gently keeping time with the cosmos. Above the clouds of your dreams, entire star clusters gather. They are called globular clusters, great, glowing swarms of stars born in the early youth of the universe. Billions of them, dancing together in gravity's soft hold, older than the planets, older than almost everything. They shimmer quietly, far away, but tonight, they are not so far. In this place between wakefulness and wonder, you are among them. And somewhere, between spiral arms of a distant galaxy, a new star is forming. You won't hear the sound of its birth because there is none. The universe speaks in silence. But you'll feel it if you listen. In the warmth that spreads across your chest as you rest. In the peace that pools in your breath. In the softness behind your eyes. You are attuned to creation now, not as an observer but as a participant. A note in a cosmic chord. And as your thoughts dissolve into mist, remember that galaxies are not solitary things. They move in clusters, in pairs, in families. They interact. They influence one another. Sometimes they crash. Sometimes they blend. But they are never truly alone. Just as you are not alone now. You are drifting in the company of light, of memory, of every sleeping soul who has ever tilted their face to the stars and wondered. Even the emptiest parts of space are not truly empty. There is always something, a particle, a wave, a whisper, presence, like the quiet presence you feel now. Around you, beneath you, within you, the universe is holding you, not tightly, not possessively, but tenderly. The way starlight holds the surface of a quiet lake. The way gravity holds planets in their orbits. The way night holds dreams. And in this gentle embrace, you begin to remember something your waking self often forgets. You are ancient. Your body is young, yes, but your atoms are not. They have seen stars explode and new worlds cool from fire. They have known darkness and light and the spaces in between. They are wise. They are patient. And now they are resting, just as they have rested before, just as they will rest again. The galaxies continue drifting, and you are floating with them. And as the drift continues, you begin to understand that this isn't just a bedtime story. This is your story, told in the language of light and dust, written across billions of years, with stars as punctuation and galaxies as paragraphs. You are not on the edge of this tale. You are within it, every cell of you woven from its plot. Your blood carries the iron that was forged in stellar cores. Your breath exchanges oxygen birthed in stars long dead. And your dreams? They are the echoes of creation's very first questions. Far from here, in the gentle void between galaxies, there are vast rivers of dark matter, invisible threads that bind the cosmos into shape. We don't know exactly what it is. We can't touch it or see it directly, but we know it's there, because it moves things. It holds things. It leaves its fingerprint in the way galaxies swirl, the way gravity bends, the way the universe continues to bloom outward like a flower that never stops opening. And maybe, just maybe, that's how love works too. Invisible, unmeasurable, and yet undeniably shaping everything. Stars don't rush to shine. They take their time. They spend millions of years gathering themselves, pulling in the right elements, igniting slowly in silence. And when they finally do glow, they do so effortlessly, without fanfare, without needing to prove anything. You too are allowed to glow in your own time. You are allowed to rest, to gather, to simply be and still matter, still shine. In the outskirts of galaxies, stars orbit quietly. They do not seek the center. They simply move in harmony, circling patiently, never falling away. Some have been doing so since before Earth existed. That's the kind of peace they found. A purpose without pressure, a path without comparison. And you can have that too. In this moment, in this breath, let your thoughts continue to fade now, like distant stars on a foggy night. Let go of the what-ifs, the should-haves, the noise of days and demands. None of that matters here. What matters is this stillness, this softness, this slow, sacred unfolding. Your body knows how to rest. Your spirit knows how to float. Your mind, even when busy, craves this quiet. Above you, galaxies are colliding, not violently but slowly over billions of years. They pass through one another like ghostly dancers, reshaping, realigning, beginning again. The stars within them rarely crash. Instead, they adjust. They adapt. They continue. Just as you are doing now, adjusting, adapting, continuing. And through it all, the universe watches, not with eyes, but with presence, with patience, with wonder. It does not demand your greatness, only your being, your willingness to drift, your permission to rest. So go on, drift deeper, float with the galaxies. Let their rhythm become your own. You are stardust and silence. You are story and stillness. You are part of this great unfolding, and tonight you are exactly where you belong. And still you float, not lost but completely found, carried in a current older than memory, older than time itself. The deeper you go, the quieter the universe becomes. Not because it ends, but because it opens. It stretches without edge, without demand, offering you space to simply exist, to simply breathe.
No urgency.
No destination, just motion, just presence. Somewhere, in a galaxy far beyond what any telescope can reach, a new solar system is forming. Dust and ice and gas swirl together in a slow, deliberate ballet. There are no deadlines here, no pressure to arrive, just gravity doing its patient work. And in that unseen corner of the cosmos, perhaps a young planet is beginning to cool. Its surface hardening, its skies gathering. It will be billions of years before anything stirs there. But the story has already begun. Quietly, like yours did. There's something beautiful about knowing that most of the universe exists in this kind of slowness. We think of space as cold or empty, but really, it's patient, vast and gentle. It gives time for stars to live their full lives, for planets to form, for light to cross incomprehensible distances just to arrive at your eyes tonight. And that same patience is being offered to you now, to rest, to drift, to become. In the silence between your thoughts, the universe is singing, a song of gravity and hydrogen, of dust turning to stars, of moments turning to memory. You don't have to hear the whole melody to be part of it. Just your heartbeat is enough. Just your breath. Just the quiet rise and fall of your chest as you lie there, adrift in the arms of something so much larger, and yet so incredibly gentle. You are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. The calcium in your bones was forged in ancient supernovae. The nitrogen in your lungs once drifted through a gas cloud before Earth was born. The carbon in your cells, the very backbone of life, is the same carbon that gave rise to stars and planets and comets and trees. You are made of memory. You are made of motion. You are made of light. And now all that light is resting. All that motion is slowing. You are not stopping, you are sinking, aligning with a rhythm so old, so deep, that even galaxies follow its lead. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. A quiet spark in an unfolding story that stretches across time. Let go of the day, of the noise, of the gravity of thought. Let yourself be held now, not by answers but by wonder. Let the galaxies drift by like slow dreams. You are part of this. You always have been, and you always will be. Somewhere far beyond what even our most powerful telescopes can see, ancient galaxies are still dancing. Not in chaos, but in harmony. Like two tides drawn toward each other. Their stars swirl and weave and glide into something new. It will take billions of years for this cosmic waltz to finish. But in the language of the universe, time is not rushed. It is generous. It unfolds. And in your own way, you are dancing too. Your breath like a wave, your heartbeat a pulse, your thoughts drifting like stardust through a nighttime sky. You don't need to move. You don't need to speak. In stillness, you are in rhythm with the most ancient song of all. The stars themselves, those brilliant, burning fires, are born in silence. In the densest, darkest parts of space, clouds of gas slowly collapse under their own weight.
No thunder. No lightning.
Just a deep exhale. A gathering of atoms. A quiet decision to ignite. And when they do, they light up not just space but time. They become beacons for future planets, for future life, for future wonder. You are resting in the cradle of that same light now, a child of starlight, wrapped in a blanket woven from billions of years. There's comfort in knowing that even the brightest stars were once invisible, that even the galaxies had a beginning in darkness, that every breathtaking thing began with a pause, a space, a silence, a waiting. Maybe that's what tonight is for you. Not an end, not a loss, but a pause, a stillness, a place where new light can begin to gather. Above you, nebulae bloom in soft colors, pinks and blues and golds suspended like slow-moving thoughts in the night. These are stellar nurseries, where stars are born. If you could float there, you would hear no sound, but you would feel the hum, the quiet tension of creation, the slow inhale of something becoming. And that's what rest is, too, becoming. In the space between your thoughts, galaxies turn. Time stretches. Possibility grows. There is no need to hold on to anything. No need to fix or force or figure it out. Just let go. Let your breath be your ship. Let the stars be your ocean. Let sleep take you not as a retreat, but as an arrival. You are arriving in yourself. In the part of you that remembers what it means to simply be. To float without fear. To exist without explanation. You were never meant to rush through this life. You were meant to move like the universe, expanding, contracting, learning, resting. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are here, now, and that is everything. So as your eyes grow heavier, know this: you are safe in the sky. You are wrapped in stories older than language. You are part of something vast and kind and endlessly unfolding. And as your breath deepens, as your body softens, as your thoughts dissolve like mist, the galaxies keep turning. Not away from you, but with you, always with you. And as you continue to drift, let yourself feel just how deeply connected you are, to the stars above, to the atoms within, to the quiet everything in between. Somewhere, a star that no longer exists is still sending its light your way. It left home millions, even billions of years ago, crossing empty space just to reach your eyes tonight. That's how much the universe believes in patience, in persistence, in the gentle beauty of things taking their time. Even now, as you rest, your body is carrying out cosmic instructions. Cells communicating in whispers, molecules aligning, a symphony of tiny movements echoing the structure of galaxies. You may think you are still, but you are not. You are pulsing with ancient rhythms, the heartbeat of the cosmos replayed in every breath, every blink, every beat of your chest. And those galaxies adrift in the void, they're not lost. They're explorers, sentinels of time, shaped by gravity and glowing with memory. Some are spirals, graceful, elegant, spinning like dancers. Others are elliptical, dense and calm, ancient cities of stars. And then there are the irregular ones, the wild ones, shaped by collisions and chaos and chance. They don't follow rules. They don't apologize. They just exist gloriously, defiantly. A reminder that even in the universe, there is room for every kind of story. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're the spiral, steady, centered, drawing your energy inward. Or maybe you're the irregular, shaped by challenges, still moving, still glowing. Or maybe you're somewhere in between, drifting through phases like starlight through fog. Whatever you are, however you are, you belong. In the farthest reaches of deep space, there are voids, enormous expanses with almost no galaxies, no stars, just darkness. But even these aren't empty. They are quiet, resting, waiting. Like sleep itself, they are a necessary part of the whole. The universe doesn't fear the dark. It uses it, needs it, just like you need rest now. Not because something is wrong, but because you are a galaxy in motion and all galaxies rest. So as your breathing slows, know that you are falling into sync with a pattern older than sound, older than stars. Your rest is part of the cosmic rhythm. You are not separate from the night. You are an echo of it, a reflection, a continuation. The galaxies drift, and so do you, together, silently, endlessly, always becoming, always enough, always part of the great unfolding sky. And deeper still, you go not into emptiness but into presence. A presence so vast and gentle that it welcomes your thoughts without needing to change them. A stillness so ancient it remembers when the first atoms cooled and began their long, patient journey toward becoming stars, then planets, then people, then you. You, lying quietly now, adrift in the night, more connected than you've ever realized. If you listen closely, not with ears but with the quiet behind your thoughts, you can almost hear the low, slow murmur of cosmic time. It doesn't rush. It doesn't push. It flows. And in that flow, galaxies are being born from nothing more than dust and gravity. From silence and potential. Like you, in this moment, being gently remade from stillness. Imagine. Clouds of gas stretching for light years, folding in on themselves, drawn together by invisible threads of attraction. Not fighting, not forcing, just surrendering to gravity. And when they do, when the pressure and heat become enough, a star ignites. Quietly, beautifully, and begins to shine. That's how the universe works. Not always with noise or urgency, but with time and patience and space to become. That's how you work too. Growth doesn't always look like motion. Healing doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes, the most important transformations happen while you rest. While you float. While you simply are. Above your dreaming mind, entire galaxies are swirling. Some no longer visible, their light stretched so far it will never reach us. Others still shining bright, their light making its way slowly through the dark, on a journey that could take billions of years, just to say hello. And you are part of this hello. Part of this cosmic conversation that has no beginning and no end. Even now, as your body sinks deeper into stillness, your atoms hum with the memory of stars. The hydrogen in your cells, the most common element in your body, was born in the Big Bang. The iron in your blood was forged in the heart of a dying star. The calcium in your bones comes from supernova explosions. You are quite literally made of stardust. That's not poetry. That's physics. And so, when you rest, it's not just you. It's the universe catching its breath. When you dream, it's the cosmos remembering. When you sleep, it is not an absence. It is a return to the spiral, to the silence, to the song. And though you may never touch the edge of a galaxy or ride the wind between stars, you are touching them now with your breath, with your rest, with your simple act of being. That's all the universe has ever asked. Not that you be extraordinary, but that you be present. And you are, right now, exactly as you should be. A moment of stillness in an ever-moving sky. A heartbeat in the long, quiet rhythm of the stars. A galaxy adrift and at peace. And in this peace, the universe continues to whisper. Not in words, but in motion. The slow drift of galaxies through the fabric of spacetime. The delicate stretch of light across billions of years. The silent bloom of nebulae, cradling newborn stars in cosmic arms of gas and dust. These are not loud stories. They do not shout. They unfold. Gently, patiently, like sleep, like healing. Like the breath you didn't know you were holding, now released. There's a comfort in that, knowing that everything you see above you, every pinprick of light, is a memory in motion. Some of those stars have already gone out. Others are still forming. But their light reaches you just the same, wrapping around you like a blanket of ancient truth. You are not outside this story. You are not looking in. You are in it, made of it, written from the same ink as the galaxies themselves. Far beyond, where light has yet to travel, new galaxies are beginning. Entire constellations are waiting to be born, and they will shimmer someday for eyes that haven't opened yet. They will glow for dreamers not yet sleeping, for travelers not yet wandering, for hearts not yet beating. That is how generous the cosmos is, always creating, always offering, even when no one is watching. Especially then, you are like that too. Your kindness, your rest, your quiet existence. They matter even when no one sees them, maybe especially then. You don't have to be witness to be wondrous. You don't have to shine to be part of the sky. You already are. Tonight, as galaxies drift and stars expand and nebulae stretch in soft spirals, your body unwinds. Your cells slow. Your breath deepens. You are not falling asleep. You are rising into your truest self, calm, still, infinite. And in this rising, you begin to sense that everything is connected. Not just in theory, not just in science, but in feeling, in presence, in the deep knowing that you are not alone, that you have never been. When you lie back and close your eyes, the universe leans in. It knows this quiet. It knows this rhythm. It knows what it means to rest after becoming, to breathe after building, to soften after shining. And it welcomes you into that same rhythm now, the one you were born with, the one the galaxies still follow. So float here, if only for a while, among the stars, among your thoughts, among everything that waits patiently for you to remember how vast and gentle your own existence truly is. You are a galaxy in rest. You are a star in renewal. You are the quiet brilliance of the cosmos, remembering itself. And as this memory deepens, you feel it not in your mind, but in your being, the way the universe does not simply exist around you, but within you. Every heartbeat is a soft echo of the first great thrum that sent space unfurling. Every breath you take is synced with billions of drifting stars, exhaling hydrogen into the night. And even the silence you feel right now is shared. A silence older than time, stretching between galaxies, filling the spaces between atoms, resting inside your chest like a soft, celestial hum. You don't have to understand all of it. That's the beauty. You can simply be with it. Let it wash over you like a warm tide, not to drown, but to float. Because even water once came from stars. Even light once had no shape, no direction. Until it found you. Somewhere, far from here, a galaxy is slowly colliding with another. Not violently but gracefully. A slow dance that will take hundreds of millions of years. Their stars will pass by each other like strangers in a quiet city, brushing paths, lighting each other's edges, never quite touching, yet changed by the nearness. This is not destruction. It's transformation. That's how galaxies grow, through contact, through challenge, through merging. You grow that way too. Every person you've met, every joy and ache, every chapter that brushed against yours, all of it shaped you. Not always loudly, not always visibly, but subtly, permanently, like stars gently tugging each other's orbits, like two galaxies learning how to make one. The Milky Way, your galactic home, is one such traveler. It moves, slowly but surely, through the cosmos, tugged by unseen forces, heading toward a meeting with Andromeda. A fellow spiral, distant and dazzling. The two will merge one day. Not in your lifetime, not even close, but the journey has begun. It's already written in the dance of gravity, in the long patience of the sky. And when that happens, new stars will form, new light will shine. Something more beautiful than either galaxy alone will emerge. That is the promise of the cosmos. That out of all motion, even collision, comes new light. So whatever you're carrying right now, let the stars hold some of it. Let gravity pull it into the sky. You don't have to hold it alone. You never did. The same force that keeps galaxies spinning is inside you. Quiet, constant, generous. And in this knowing, in this quiet stretch of cosmic time, you can finally rest. Not because the story is over, but because it is still unfolding, and you are part of it. Always have been. A single breath in the lungs of the universe. A gentle, glowing thread in the fabric of everything. A galaxy adrift, and at peace. And even now, as you lie still beneath the quiet sky, or perhaps just beneath the quiet of your own thoughts, the cosmos continues. It does not pause. It does not need permission. It flows, patiently, lovingly. Galaxies spin in slow motion across billions of years. Nebulae blossom and fade. Stars are born in dusty cradles and dissolve into black holes, which are not endings, but gateways, doorways through which space and time fold inward like origami, whispering secrets we are not yet old enough to understand. But some part of you already knows. Not with language, not with logic, but with presence. The same presence that lets flowers turn toward the sun, or rivers find the sea, or gravity curve light itself. It's the quiet knowing of things that don't need to prove their purpose. And that includes you, because while your days may feel small, and your moments fleeting, you are made of things that never disappear. The atoms in your body, carbon, calcium, oxygen, they've all been through stars. They've danced in stellar cores, been flung across space in supernovae, wandered through gas clouds before settling into you. And when your story ends, as all stories must, they will drift onward. They will become someone else's breath, someone else's dream. They may form a tree, a bird, a moon. They may return to the stars. There is no waste in the universe. Only return, only reshaping, only the ongoing art of transformation. And just like the galaxies, you are not static. You shift, you spiral, you stretch slowly toward what's next. Even when it's hard, even when it's quiet, even when it feels like nothing is changing, something always is, beneath the surface, inside the stillness. Just as galaxies don't shout when they grow, you don't have to either. You can expand softly, silently, and still become something radiant. So rest now, dear traveler. Not because the journey is done, but because journeys need stillness too. Let your breath echo the slow rhythm of a turning galaxy. Let your body remember it is stardust arranged just so, to carry a consciousness for a little while. And when you wake again, whether it's in hours or lifetimes, or the blink of a supernova, know that you are part of something vast, something kind, something beautiful beyond measure. You always were. The stars are not above you. They are within you. And as galaxies drift, so do you, gently, endlessly, perfectly, a quiet miracle on the tides of time. And so the journey continues, not with footsteps, but with awareness. Not with motion, but with expansion. As your breath slows, the boundaries between you and the stars grow softer. You are not just watching the cosmos. You are part of it, carried in its arms like a ripple across a sleeping lake. Even now, as your thoughts begin to fade into the hush of night, galaxies continue their silent ballet, spiraling, stretching, merging, glowing, each one a quiet cathedral of light, born from darkness. You don't need to understand every formula or memorize every star. You don't need to explain why gravity curves or how time bends near black holes. It is enough to know you are within it, that your existence hums with the same rhythm as distant quasars and ancient pulsars, that inside your cells are the echoes of creation, from the first light to this very breath. Somewhere, in the velvet dark, a new galaxy is being born, not with fire and fanfare, but with the slow gathering of light and dust and will. It begins with a whisper, hydrogen drawn by gravity, swirling, condensing, glowing, until one day it will be seen, perhaps by another dreaming species, wondering about their place in it all, wondering if they, too, belong. And they will, as you do. The stars don't ask where you're from. They don't care about your past, your doubts, your broken pieces. They shine for you anyway. They always have. And just as they do, you can shine in your own way. Not brightly, not loudly, but with that same quiet persistence, that same cosmic grace. Let this night remind you that you don't need to rush. Galaxies take billions of years to bloom. So do you. Let every breath be a slow orbit. Let every heartbeat be a supernova's echo, brief, brilliant, and entirely yours. Because you are not a mistake in this universe. You are not an afterthought. You are the point. The moment the universe became aware of itself through you. And now, as sleep begins to soften the edges of your thoughts, let the cosmos wrap you in its most ancient lullaby. Not one of words, but of presence, of peace, of belonging. You are safe here. You are stardust at rest. You are a galaxy dreaming itself into being. And in this dreaming, the universe breathes through you, softly, slowly, like a tide that never recedes. Each inhale draws in the silence of space, and each exhale carries away the weight of time. You are no longer confined to a name or a place or a story. You are part of the vastness now, drifting, glowing, endless. The same forces that shaped galaxies shaped your lungs, your eyes, your thoughts. The spiral of a nebula lives in the curl of your fingerprint. The rhythm of planetary orbits echoes in the beating of your heart. Somewhere, light from a distant galaxy, a galaxy so far it began its journey before our Earth had oceans, is just now brushing past your world. That light, unchanged, untouched, still travels, still seeks. It doesn't ask to be seen, but it keeps shining, just like you, in the quiet, in the dark. You don't have to dazzle the sky to be worthy of wonder. You only need to be exactly as you are. In the early days of the universe, there were no shapes, just a swirl of possibilities. And yet, even then, gravity whispered. Even then, there was a leaning toward connection, a pull toward structure, toward beauty, toward becoming. That's the story of galaxies. And it's the story of you. You are made of the same whispers, the same pull toward light, toward meaning, toward love. So when the noise of life feels too much, when you forget your place among the stars, remember this. You are the result of billions of years of patience, of collisions and fusions, of quiet resilience. You are what stardust can become when given time and warmth and a little wonder. Let yourself drift now, deeper into that cosmic cradle. No fear.
No urgency.
Just presence. Just breath. Let your body rest like a planet in orbit, cradled by invisible forces, perfectly placed. Let your thoughts dissolve like comets into twilight. Let sleep arrive like starlight, gradual, soft, unstoppable. Because the universe is not finished with you. It never will be. You are still forming, still unfolding, still learning how to shine in your own quiet way. And the galaxies, all of them, will wait for you. Sleep now, beautiful traveler. Sleep like a star being born. And as you sleep, the universe continues its gentle unfolding. Stars flicker in silent codes, nebulae drift like celestial brushstrokes, and time glides onward, not in haste, but in harmony. Your dreams may begin to take shape now, colored by stardust and space, by ancient echoes and soft gravitational songs. Somewhere in your resting mind, a planet turns, a black hole hums, and an entire galaxy spins on the tip of a thought. You are held in this great stillness, not as something separate, but as something essential. Every molecule of you is part of the choreography. The carbon in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your breath, each a gift from long-dead stars that exploded their light into being so that life could one day awaken in forms like yours. And now, here you are, resting, remembering, returning to that same light through the quiet magic of rest. In distant parts of the cosmos, stars are dying and being born in the same breath. Some are giving their last light in magnificent bursts called supernovae, a radiant farewell that seeds entire regions with the potential for new worlds. Some are just now flickering into existence, small and shy, inside clouds of gas and gravity. And this process, this eternal giving and receiving, is not just happening in the stars. It's happening in you. Every time you let go, you make room for something new. Every ending carries the pattern of a new beginning. And even in rest, you are becoming. You are rebuilding. You are aligning with forces older than language and wiser than thought. So let yourself go further now. Drift beyond the edge of what you know. Float past the constellations of your waking life. Become the quiet between thoughts, the darkness between stars, the breath between pulses. There is no fear here, only unfolding, only returning. You are the night sky, endless, mysterious, full of unseen wonders. You are the quiet galaxy, glowing not for recognition, but because it is your nature to glow. You are the spiral of life, the dust of memory, the hush between heartbeats. Sleep now, gentle voyager. Let the gravity of stillness draw you in. Let the light of the stars guide your dreams. And when morning comes, whenever it does, you will rise, still made of galaxies, still glowing, still becoming. And so, we close this chapter beneath the quiet shimmer of starlight. The galaxies continue to drift. The cosmos continues to breathe. And you, small, infinite, and made of the same light, have gently returned to your place among the stars. Thank you for letting this story carry you. Rest well, dear traveler. The universe will still be here when you wake. Milky Way sparkles. The Mad Human Channel.